Space launch trajectory and countdown. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Welcome to the webcast for the Transporter 11 mission, SpaceX's 80th launch of 2024. The Falcon 9 you see on your screen is currently scheduled to lift off just about 10 minutes from now from Space Launch Complex 4 East at the Vandenberg Space Force Base, which is just a few hours north from us here in Hawthorne, California. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Shiva Bharadwaj. I'm a space operations engineer here at SpaceX, and I'm going to be your host today as we follow this Falcon 9 taking its 12th flight to space today. The Falcon 9 is going to be delivering more than 100 payloads into a sun-synchronous orbit for multiple customers. This launch marks our 11th dedicated SmallSat Rideshare program launch. Since January 2021, our rideshare program has collectively taken nearly 1,000 satellites from more than 130 customers to various different destinations and orbits. And we are thrilled today to be sending 116 payloads on today's flight. That includes CubeSats, microsats, and an orbital transfer vehicle, which is carrying 8 of those payloads, 5 of which will be deployed at a later time. Now, all of the spacecraft, some of which can be seen on this photo, will separate from the second stage across 99 deployment events, scheduled to start around the T plus 54-minute mark and conclude at about 2.5 hours after liftoff. We are expecting to have telemetry for most of these deployment events, and we're going to be lighting our Merlin vacuum engine for a total of 4 times over the course of today's mission. Now, if you're interested, you can see a full list of the payloads at our website, spacex.com/launches. We're currently working towards a launch at 11:56 a.m. Pacific time. That's just about 8 minutes from now. Now, if needed, there is a backup opportunity tomorrow, August 17th, at 11:20 a.m. Pacific time. Currently, the weather is green on the central coast of California, and the range is ready to support. So with that, why don't we meet our launch vehicle, the Falcon 9, the most flown U.S. launch vehicle. The Falcon 9 rocket supporting today's mission is a 2-stage vehicle designed for safe transport of satellites, cargo, and people to orbit. At the very top of the rocket, we've got the payload fairing. That is a protective shell that houses all of the payloads, shielding them from aerodynamic heating until the vehicle is outside of the Earth's atmosphere. The aerodynamic shape of the fairing also contributes to Falcon 9's overall efficiency and reduces drag on the vehicle as we accelerate through the Earth's atmosphere on our way to orbit. Now, once we're in space, those 2 fairing halves separate and fall back to Earth, where they will be recovered later today by our Go Beyond vessel to be refurbished and reused on a future mission. Right below the fairing, we have our second stage. That has a single Merlin vacuum or MVAC engine, which is going to be taking our payloads to their drop-off points in orbit. Below the second stage is our black carbon fiber interstage, where the Merlin vacuum engine is located. The interstage connects the 2 stages and houses a center pusher that separates the first and second stages from each other during ascent. Now, below that, we've got our first stage, which is also referred to as the booster. It makes up the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle and has 9 Merlin 1D engines at its base. Those Merlin 1D engines generate more than 1.7 million pounds of thrust. Now, SpaceX is working to certify our Falcon 9 boosters to be reflown for up to 40 flights, and today we actually have several boosters that have completed more than 20 flights each. The first stage supporting today's mission is flying for its 12th time, having previously flown the SDA-0A, Sarah 2, and 9 Starlink missions. Now, about 2.5 minutes into flight, the first stage will separate and make its way back to Earth to attempt a land landing at LZ4, which is on your screen. That's a site not too far away from today's launch pad. Because this is a return to launch site, or RTLS landing, during re-entry when the booster slows down from supersonic speeds, people in the immediate area may hear a brief double clap of a thunder-like sound, which is referred to as a sonic boom. Reusability is the key to our future in space, and the sonic booms created during returning boosters are unique to reusable vehicles. Similar sonic booms were heard during the return and landing of NASA's Space Shuttle and famously occurred during a Falcon Heavy launch when 2 boosters return at the same time to the launch site at Cape Canaveral, and that makes a unique double sonic boom. Now, while these have become well known to rocket enthusiasts at the Cape, they are becoming more well known on the Central Coast and will soon be coming to Texas, where our Starship vehicle's Super Heavy booster will soon begin returning to the launch tower for rapid reuse. To get an idea of how it looks and sounds, here's a look at what booster returns are like.
I know a lot of people will be excited when they hear the sonic boom.
And these are going to provide quite a show because you're going to hear those sonic booms.
Booster landing leg deployed.
That sonic boom is great for us.
That thunderclap broke the sound barrier.
Side booster separation confirmed.
Just heard the 2 sonic booms here in the room.
Booster landing confirmed.
Now, to date, we have landed Falcon 9 339 times, and we're going to be listening for that sonic boom today as the first stage returns to landing zone for, hopefully, for its 340th landing of an Orbital class rocket. Now, we are just about 3.5 minutes to go for today's launch. We've got some great views of the transporter erector, the truss structure to the right of the vehicle, retracting away to get into the launch position. Now, in addition to driving the cost of access to space down with reusable vehicles, SpaceX is targeting at least 3 dedicated rideshare flights to sun-synchronous orbits per year to provide
Stage
small
1
satellite
launch load is complete.
operators competitive pricing and increased flight opportunities and flexibility. The demand for rideshare missions continues to rise, and so we've expanded to accommodate even more small sats looking for rides to orbit. Later this year, we're going to be launching the second bandwagon mission, a separate line of rideshare missions that will deliver spacecraft into mid-inclination orbits rather than transporters' sun-synchronous orbit. These mid-inclined orbits are appealing to a growing number of customers, especially those who want to do remote sensing missions that strengthen coverage over parts of Asia and the Middle East. Now, rideshare significantly increases the access to space for small satellite operators around the world, and we're really excited to be able to offer these opportunities for our customers. If you want more about these and opportunities to orbit, visit spacex.com/launches. We had a couple of call-outs there indicating that LOX load is complete on the second stage. So at this point, propellants...
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
Oh, there it is. We have a couple of call-outs during the start of the broadcast to indicate that our fuel and oxidizer are fully loaded. As we're getting into the final 90 seconds of the countdown,
Gas
we're going to see
closeouts has started.
some venting from the transporter erector, clearing out the lines in preparation for launch. And then at about T-minus 1 minute, Falcon 9 will transition into startup, pressurizing for flight. and then we'll get into our final go for launch.
Falcon 9 is in startup. LD is go for launch.
Launch director pull for launch. Just about 35 seconds from liftoff. All systems go. Range is green. Let's watch Transporter 11.
30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff Falcon 9. Go Transporter 11.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
MOD chamber pressure nominal.
.45 seconds into flight. Beautiful
Power and telemetry
view
nominal.
of the California coast at Vandenberg. We've cleared the tower and the Launch Complex 4 East. We've begun throttling down those Merlin 1D engines on the first stage in preparation for max Q.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
That's the point of maximum aerodynamic stresses during ascent.
Max Q.
And with that, we've got 5 events coming up back to back. The first of those is going to be Main Engine Cutoff, or MECO. That's where we'll shut down all 9 of the Merlin 1D engines in preparation for stage separation. The center pusher will separate the first and second stages. Simultaneously, the first stage will begin a flip maneuver to start making its way back for its landing attempt, while the second stage starts up its Merlin vacuum engine for SES-1 to take our transporter satellites to orbit. Finally, there'll be the start of the boost back burn on the first stage. That's going to be the first stage lighting its Merlin 1D engines to make its way back towards land and a land landing at landing zone 4. So coming up, MECO, followed by stage sep, the flip maneuver, second engine start, and boost back.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC ignition.
Stage 1 boost back startup.
So successful confirmation, second engine start is on its way, taking the payloads to orbit. Coming up, just about 10 seconds from now, we're going to expect to see fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there is successful confirmation of fairing separation. You can also get a good view of the payloads flying on today's mission. And a great shot there, you can see a fairing half returning back towards the California coast. As a reminder, we will be recovering those fairings and refurbishing them for use on a future mission. Now, next major milestone is boost back shutdown on the first stage.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
And with that, the first stage is making its way back towards its next major activity, which will be the entry burn starting at around the T+6 minute mark. You can see the grid fins deploying on the first stage. We're seeing some white gas there. That's expected on the left-hand side of your screen. Those are our attitude control system that is helping orient the stage to get the heat shield pointed in the right direction for the upcoming entry burn. Now the Merlin vacuum on the right-hand side of your screen is in the first of 4 planned burns for today's mission. This first burn is getting the transporter satellites into their insertion orbit. This burn expected to last until just past T+8 minutes.
Falcon 9 is on a nominal trajectory.
Now we're just about 50 seconds from the start of the entry burn on the first stage. Now the entry burn is used to slow down the vehicle as we start getting into the denser parts of the Earth's atmosphere. That helps us slow down the vehicle a little bit faster than if we were just using the drag from aerodynamic forces, and that would add a bunch of stress to the vehicle. So this helps us make the entry a little more gentle and helps us to refurbish and reuse the boosters more easily for future missions. Following the entry burn, we'll expect to do a landing burn, but that'll be much closer to our landing zone.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there's a successful
Stage 1
startup
entry burn shutdown.
and shutdown of the entry burn 3 of the Merlin 1D engines. Now the stage is going to be orienting itself towards its next major milestone, which is going to be the landing burn. We'll ignite just a single Merlin engine.
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
Now that landing burn will rapidly bring the stage's speed down to 0. Landing legs will deploy and we'll hopefully see a nice soft touchdown at landing zone 4. That's just a short distance away from the launch pad. It'll mark the 12th flight and recovery for this
Stage 1
booster if we're
transonic.
successful.
Stage 1 landing burn. Landing leg deployed.
And that marks the 12th landing for this booster. It marks SpaceX's 340th landing of an Orbital class rocket. Next up, just about 20 seconds, will be the Merlin vacuum shutdown, SECO, second engine cutoff number 1.
Stage 2 FTS has saved. And vac shutdown.
And there is successful shutdown of the Merlin vacuum engine for the insertion orbit.
Nominal parking orbit.
And that call out indicating that we are in the target orbit for insertion of today's mission around planet Earth. So with that, the next event is going to be coming up at around the T plus 50-minute mark. That'll be the second engine start for the second time of our Merlin vacuum engine. We'll be back around in about 40 minutes to bring you live coverage of SES-2, followed shortly after by the beginning of our payload deployments. So until then, enjoy the views from space, and we'll talk to you soon.
We're all working together as I mentioned before, Precisely kind of information do you want from the satellite? What do you want? What do you want?
Welcome back to our coverage of the Transporter 11 mission. We've had a great mission so far with an on-time liftoff at 11:56 a.m. Pacific time. We recovered our first stage for its 12th time, landing today at Vandenberg's landing zone 4. Now coming up, we are about 10 seconds away from ignition of our Merlin vacuum engine for its second of 4 planned burns today. Going to be a quick burn, just about 3 seconds. Shortly after, we'll have payload deployment. And just awaiting confirmation from the ground teams that we had SES. It would have happened during this scheduled period. And of course, our telemetry depends on the ground station coverage that we have access to. So we're waiting for insight from the teams here. And good confirmation of that second engine start number 2. So coming up next is payload deployment just a few minutes from now. As a reminder, we are have 116 payloads on today's mission. Those are deployed in 2 different blocks of deployment events. So we're coming up on the first of those 2 blocks. We're expecting to have about 2/3 of our payload deployments happen around the T plus 54-minute mark. And here's a view from the top of the second stage looking at those payloads. Another view of the Merlin vacuum engine, which had just ignited a couple minutes ago. As a reminder, we are flying in a sun-synchronous orbit. So what that means is we're not flying along the equator. We're actually flying somewhat opposite to the equator, flying over the poles. It's not exactly a polar orbit. You have to be at a certain inclination, but the nice thing about a sun-synchronous orbit is that payloads deployed on this usually have very long dwell times in the sun. So they can see the sun for a long time, and that helps them power their systems through solar panels on board or for observations that they want to make about the Earth. So coming up about 30 seconds away from the first block of our payload deployments. Again, about 2/3 of our deployments are happening during this first pass, and then we'll have a second block after 2 more Merlin vacuum burns later in the mission.
Game to set 1A deploy confirmed. Rata Siru-1 deploy confirmed. FISAT 2 deploy confirmed. Array Labs, Rock and Lopen, deploy confirmed. Satoro T2, deploy confirmed. Tomorrow S1, deploy confirmed. Quava 2, deploy confirmed. Connecta IoT-1, deploy confirmed. Ernst, deploy confirmed. Demos, deploy confirmed. Kainini deploy confirmed. ORSAT 0.5 deploy confirmed. Connecta IoT4 deploy confirmed. Lemur 2 tomato ketchup deploy confirmed. Connecta IoT2 deploy confirmed. COPS hyperdrone deploy confirmed. Hyperfield 1 deploy confirmed. COPS PTD-R deploy confirmed. Chakra 1 deploy confirmed. Connecta IoT3 deploy confirmed. Cube deploy confirmed.
We heard a number of payload deployments. We're still not done with this first block. There's a few more happening starting again in about a minute from now. Part of what the Falcon launch team is looking at is the signatures that indicate that a satellite has deployed. So electrical signatures.
GNA3 deploy confirmed.
We're reviewing electrical signatures, camera footage that we have, as well as sometimes the acceleration signatures on the stage. So the ground team will be looking here to confirm as many of the payload deployments as we can.
Tomorrow S2 deploy confirmed. COPS Troop F2 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE16 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE28 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE15 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE4 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE27 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE13 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE14 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE25 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE3 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE26 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE1 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE2 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE20 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE7 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE19 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE31 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE8 deploy confirmed.
If you're just joining us, we're in the middle of our first payload deployment block for the Transporter 11 mission. We're actually in a brief loss of signal with the second stage, and that's expected just from the ground station coverage that we have on our current trajectory. We are expecting some payloads to be deployed during this period, and we should get confirmation of their status once we get to the other side of this LOS. It's been a successful mission up to this point, though. We had an on-time liftoff of the first stage from Vandenberg Space Force Base. Successfully recovered that first stage, completed 2 burns on the second stage Merlin vacuum engine, and up to now, all of our payload deployments from the first block have been successful. So hoping to hear more of that once we get ground station coverage again in just a couple minutes from now. You are watching the Transporter 11 mission. We've got a view of where the second stage is approximately over the globe up for you right now.
8 flock deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE11 deploy confirmed.
And we are getting some periodic ground station views of the second stage. You're looking at you were just looking at the payload adapter fitting that was carrying all of our payloads for today's mission.
Flock 4BE12 deploy confirmed.
We've got some camera views looking down at the payloads for today's mission. Periodically, you may see some of them separating and...
Flock 4BE36 deploy confirmed.
Separating and moving away from the second stage. There's one on the corner of your screen there.
Flock 4BE23 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE9 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE10 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE22 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE21 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE35 deploy confirmed. NewSat 50 deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE34 deploy confirmed. Eagle Eye deploy confirmed. NewSat 48, deploy confirmed. YAM 7, deploy confirmed. Flock 4BE33, deploy confirmed. Tyche, deploy confirmed. Tanager 1, deploy confirmed. NewSat 49, deploy confirmed. Lure 1, deploy confirmed. SEOPS, Ren 1, deploy confirmed.
So with that, we are at the end of our first planned deployment sequence, and we had confirmation of all deployments on that first block. Next up, we've got a coast phase coming up, followed by a relight of the Merlin vacuum engine. That'll happen in about 21 minutes at T plus 1 hour and 45. Until then, we're going to leave you with the views that we have with space and some music to enjoy.
Payload deploy 0 phase completed. All deploys confirmed successful.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Transporter 11 mission. Now we're back for just briefly here to cover the third of our 4 planned Merlin vacuum engine burns. We're about 5 or so seconds away from second engine start number 3. And this was just a super quick 1-second burn to raise the altitude of the stage. We've got one more Merlin vacuum engine burn planned about 40 minutes from now, following which we'll have our final block of payload deployments. That's expected to happen around the T+2 hour and 26-minute mark. So we'll see you back then.
Nominal parking orbit.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Transporter 11 mission. It's been a great mission so far. We had an on-time liftoff at 11:56 a.m. Pacific time out of the Vandenberg Space Force Base. Successfully recovered our first stage for its 12th time at Landing Zone 4, and we've completed the first 3 of 4 planned second stage engine burns. Now, coming up in about 30 seconds from now, we'll have our 4th light up of that Merlin vacuum engine for today's mission. That will be a burn lasting just about 1 second. It'll be second engine start number 4. And there is successful startup and shutdown of the Merlin vacuum engine for its 4th and final planned burn of today's mission. That's just getting us into the target orbit.
Nominal deploy orbit.
For our final deployment orbit. And with the callouts there from the ground, we are in the target orbit. Now, next up, in about 2 minutes from now, we're going to have our final set of deployments for Transporter 11. As a reminder, today we have a total of 99 deployment events, deploying a total of 116 payloads, including CubeSats, microsatellites, and an orbital transfer vehicle that's carrying 8 of those payloads. If you're interested in the list of all the payloads flying on today's mission, you can find that at spacex.com/launches. Now, if you aren't familiar with our transporter missions, they are dedicated rideshare flights. We target at least 3 of these missions to sun-synchronous orbits per year. And our rideshare program was recently expanded to accommodate even more small satellites looking for a ride to orbit. Earlier this year, we launched the first bandwagon mission, which is a separate set of rideshare missions to deliver spacecraft to mid-inclination orbits, as opposed to the sun-synchronous orbits that today's satellites are going on. We're less than a minute from our final deployment sequence for today's mission, getting some periodic views here of the Merlin vacuum engine, and then views from the top of the second stage, like this one, looking at the remaining payloads on today's mission.
CubeSat Toro, separation confirmed. UM5 Sat Rebat, separation confirmed. Satellite 2, separation confirmed. UM5 EOSat, separation confirmed. Nightjar, separation confirmed. Satellite 4, separation confirmed. Hypso 2, separation confirmed. Lima 2 Stella, separation confirmed. Lima 2 Mauritian, separation confirmed. Bro 15, separation confirmed. Pico 1B, separation confirmed. Satellite 1, separation confirmed. Lemu NGE, separation confirmed. Satellite 3, separation confirmed. COPS PTD4, separation confirmed. Gnomes 5, separation confirmed. Arctic weather satellite, separation confirmed. ISI 1, separation confirmed. ISI 2, separation confirmed. Umbra 10, separation confirmed. ISI 3, separation confirmed. Ion SCV Magnificent Monica, separation confirmed. Hawk 10B, separation confirmed. Umbra 9, separation confirmed. ISI 4, separation confirmed.
So the small lull here that we're hearing from the ground team is expected from a loss of signal with the stage. We have ground stations that we use to track the second stage during the deployment events, and we have a brief outage here. But the vehicle still continues to attempt payload deployments even during these LOS periods, and once we get ground station coverage back, we'll hear from the ground teams the status of the payloads that are intended to deploy during this period. And if you're just joining us, we are in the middle of our second set of payload deployments on the Transporter 11 mission. It's been a fairly successful mission so far. We had an on-time liftoff around 11:56 a.m. Pacific time. Nominal ascent on the first stage and second stage. First stage was successfully recovered with a land landing near the launch pad at Vandenberg Space Force Base, landing for its 12th time. The second stage went on to perform 4 Merlin vacuum burns, first 2 of those getting into the first set of payload deployment orbits, where we deployed the first block of payloads flying on today's mission. And now we are in the second payload payload orbit in the middle of our second set of deployments, just in a brief loss of signal period.
Hawk 10A, separation confirmed. QPS SAR 8, Amateru 4, separation confirmed. Hawk 10C, separation confirmed. Bro 14, separation confirmed.
We have a few different ways of identifying if the payloads have separated from Falcon. The first of those are electrical signals from the payloads that the ground team is looking for. As we get telemetry, as we see those electrical signals transition, then we understand if the payload is still attached to Falcon or not. We can also get visual confirmations when we have camera footage from those cameras that we are viewing at the top of the stage. And we can also get creative and use the acceleration signatures on the stage to understand if payloads have been deployed. So the ground teams are looking at all of this information, trying to understand if all the payloads have deployed when they make those calls throughout the deployment sequence.
Capella, separation confirmed. All payloads successfully separated.
And with that, that brings us to the end of our deployment sequence. and successful confirmation that all payloads on today's mission have deployed. Today's mission marked SpaceX's 375th overall mission to date and our 80th mission of this year. So we want to thank all of our rideshare customers for their support on today's mission, of course, our viewers for joining us today, and we want to thank the Range and the Federal Aviation Administration for supporting today's mission. Now, if you're interested, a full listing of today's payloads can be found at spacex.com/launches, and if you're interested in future launch coverage, be sure to check that same page for the most up-to-date information. Thank you, and we'll see you for the next launch.